What's up YouTube, Xraypc here, and I'm back with another Mecha Break video to bring you the difficulty, I guess, tier list. So, showing you from the hardest to the easiest mechs. I know this game has a lot of daunting looking mechas, where you look at a Falcon, right, and he's one of the hardest mechas in the game, and you would think like, oh, whatever, it's like playing a plane game or something, and then you would watch somebody play that same character, and all of a sudden they're looking like the best player in the entire game. I'm gonna show you this clip right here, and you're gonna go, oh yeah, I'm probably not gonna be able to do that. This is from the invitational tournament they had.
So easily, especially on these maps where objectives are spawning and you have to move. A lot of times it could be across the valley and over the mountain. Oh, kills coming off from everywhere, Ken.
I'm only going to explain until when I get to Falcon's portion about what he's actually doing here.
Falcon chasing him down.
Ken is incredible, showing how flexible he is, because he told us that he is.
We'll do Falcon first. We'll put Falcon easily the hardest character in the whole game.
Already getting these double kills and more.
And look at the energy, hardly going below half any time. Ken will flip.
So, yeah, Falcon's definitely the hardest. I'll rank him. There you go. I'll rank him immediately. As you can see in that video, Falcon, when you're played at the highest level, can go from what people thought was a bad unit to one of the best units in the game. Just because so many people were not understanding of the character yet, and they didn't learn it to this level. Some of these people in this tournament have been playing as long as me. I've been playing since the Game Awards, and they did that beta. Since then, I've played every beta except one, or every alpha and beta since one. Except one of them I missed. Every other one I attended. So, and I can tell you for a show, yes, he's going to be the most played, or one of the most played, but like most Falcons are not playing at this level. So if you're at least a good aimer, you're going to be able to hit him. Obviously,
they're getting
this guy
first. It's one of the
so I'm going to explain here. I'll turn my music off even for just to make sure I get this across. So Falcon, what he's doing here is there's like upward loops, downward loops, and then there's also a move where he does like that spin downward, and some of his up and down loops, he's like alt, like your default button on the keyboard, alt, would immediately cancel into like a downward slam, but he's like canceling, he like does the upward loop, cancels, animation cancels with that, and then does the spinning loop on some of these. And some of these he just does a spin loop, and then some of these he's like just doing the full, like, so like you can see like sometimes he does it right there. Oh, what the? I like one.
And below half is Minsk is trying to dismantle that, and that's his third Corite extractor dismantled. A good lead for Eva so far.
They're getting they're moving
that's
first.
Fine.
It's one of the biggest things. You can get
lead for Eva so far. Already has been extremely
low. So I somehow went to the whole VOD. I don't know what happened.
Minsk is trying to dismantle that, and that is the third.
So see how annoying he is too?
Extractor dismantled. A good lead for Eva so far.
They're getting they're moving first. It's one of the biggest things. You can
pretty much never get any objective, because as long as any damage hits you, it stops you from getting the objective. But what Falcon's doing here is he's constantly on the targets at all times. So until you get rid of him, you have a high chance to not get it, and that's what forces you to have Stego here. That forces you to have Welkin here. You have to have the shield, the mist, and the domes, or else you're just never getting an objective.
A lot of times it could be across the valley and over the mountain.
Look at this.
Oh, kills
can't be touched. Boom, slams into the ground. Does a spin, cancels that. Upward loop, cancels that. Flies after him.
Chasing him down.
Ken is incredible.
And it goes out of form, back into form, so he can instantly turn. Does a spin, upward cancels, slam back into the ground, dash, back into form.
And look at the energy. Hardly
goes out of form, into form.
And
then he goes around and starts killing him the whole time. Boom, upward loop, stay on target the entire time. The dodge.
And there he goes, quick regen and gets
and then just dashes away.
Falcons are...
Yeah. So it's like, once you kind of understand the gist of what he's doing, it starts to make sense. But yeah, as a new player, you're going to look at this clip and you're going to think, wow, that's too hard for me. Okay. Now let me show you this video, right? This player is good, but he's not as good as that guy, right? This is the normal Falcon in your games. right? This is what normally is happening. And it still looks really good, right? Like, he still looks pretty good. This is probably, like, plat level of Falcon, I think. Or at least went up from how much I played. And how, like, I got to, like, the highest ranks. And most plat Falcons play like this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what the heck is he doing, you know? I don't know. That guy never had to leave plane form. He was pretty much in the air constantly at all times. This guy's, like, running into obstacles in the ground. You know what I mean? Like, he has a long way to go, but he's good. But then you have this guy, right? In one of the best players in the world in this invitational tournament, you know, popping off. So if you want to play a high speed, high mechanical character that also is insanely good, then you play Falcon. Leesness, I'll do the second one. I think Leesness is moderately hard. I think there is a point where Leesness could be put in really hard, and some people who are especially, like, in a sense, noobs at the game, I think he's just brain dead easy and just destroys everybody. But the thing about Leesness is he's a mixture of the melee and the range. His range gun is kind of hard to use because it's like a weird burst gun, but also it could be charged a lot and then let go in a giant burst. They just fixed them with the newest change where they made it so Leesness, sorry, I'm getting the gameplay up. They made it so Leesness, when he's in baby form, can hold the charge. He has both his gun and his melee instead of the gun, the melee and the shield, or the gun and the shield. And he can hold the gun charge the entire time and then melee you over and over again and then launch the gun in a big burst. So it made the little version of him a big bursty unit like he used to be. And his big version is a super survivable, annoying that can get like mech that can get tons of kills, but he's not gonna like instantaneously burst you down. He does more damage in his like melee form, but he has to run out of energy a lot, so then he has to go to his gun form more often and just kind of whittle people down and find picks, which is kind of hard when you have to, like, maybe like they have like a Falcon and an Aquila. It's like kind of hard to stay on target. But let me just show you. Oh, here you go. There you go. Loot Ward has all their mechs abilities showcases. There you go. And then I can just go to Aleseness. There you go. Shout you out, Loot Ward, have you in the video. I'll put his video in the comments down below so it's easier to, like, see the mechs. But I'm here to explain their difficulty because some people look at this game and think it's the most difficult game in the world. So he has shield, right click. His left click can either be the railgun or the burst rifle, and the spear. He has like missiles. He has his form where he could die, go into little form, reform instantly, and each time knock somebody away from you, so they can't really just instantly kill you. And it heals you as well. And it heals you back to full health, and you go back into big form again, and then you could die again, go into little form, and then you can't. Then you'll just die. I don't think I don't think you can come back after that. So you can go boom, you can get melee. And this won't show it where he goes in little form, and then because it's also, this is 10 months ago. But yeah. So boom, he has a second life, and then you can just instantly go back, or you could utilize it. Before, it was always better to kind of maybe utilize it for a very small bit and then transform back. But now you could, if you really want to, you could utilize this for a very long time until you're kind of forced to swap back, and then just swap back as a like emergency mechanism, and then you can stay as your big form, which obviously you'll have just a better kit. This is a very gimped kit when you're in your small form. But yeah, well, let's move on to Aquila. Aquila, the sniper, heavy sniper. I think he's moderate. I don't think Aquila's that hard. I mean, somebody thinks he's hard. I don't know. He just... So Aquila has... There you go. So Aquila has... There you go. Thank God he shows his skills. So you have your main sniper rifle, your left click, but if you don't aim down sights, you could spam it. And then you have your defense field, so it blocks long-range attacks. It helps you fight another sniper. You have your claw drone, which now makes him like before I would have put him as easy, but now I put him as hard because you actually have to aim that claw. The claw will lunge out, and it's not auto target anymore. So it actually has you have to aim it in this straight line, and you have to make sure. I think you actually have to make sure the lock-on triggers. If not, it would probably miss. But if you have the lock-on kind of like on target the whole time and it triggers, and then you shoot it, that person, unless they just dodge instantly, are gonna get hit by it. Once it hits, also it perma stuns you for like 3 seconds. There's no like kind of thing you can get. I think you can kind of get out of it, but usually people just fall down and then get out of it. So if you're hitting like a flyer, which that's pretty impossible, but if you're like another Aquila, you see an Arcami, there's a melee on you, that's usually what you use it for. But if like I'm trying to hit like a flyer, that's probably impossible now that it doesn't auto track. And then so you can pretty much stay airborne with the third skill. I'll just let the gameplay play in the background while I'm kind of explaining it more. So yeah, so you can spam your thing. It does energy damage and shield damage. It does shield damage and health damage at the same time. And then you aim down sights, it just does astronomical amounts of damage. You don't have to worry about like headshotting with any of the sniper characters in this game. There's no headshot damage in this game, so you don't have to worry about that. You just gotta make sure that you're on target. And there is a targeting system in this game. You would think it auto locks, but it doesn't. Auto locking or the targeting system is there just to assist you if you have good tracking. But if you see like a good player, the Falcon player I showed here, also played Aquila and then whipped out that Aquila and just flick, and it hit all 3 flicks, which the casters were amazed because a lot of people when they play this game aren't like trying to have like insane aim. They're just trying to stay on target. They're focused more on their tracking more than anything. When, especially on the sniper, especially on Aquila, especially if you want to hit like Falcons and all those other people, an Arcami hitting a grapple hook and flying away from you, whatever, you have to be really good at flicking, which I know you would think with the target system, yeah, but the Aquilas that make use of that, getting good at flicking and getting good at hitting claw puts it a moderate. Hurricane is easy. I mean, I don't know, this beams that just hit everything. You're a tank. You have you just have more health than other people. Your left click does tons of damage. Your right click is a shield that you could parry with, and then it summons these little drones that take away. They make it so they have to target it. You have those little drones, attack drones, like can damage other people. You have that it's just auto targets everything. So it's like Infernos. It does just as much damage. And then you have the giant AoE like shield dome that blocks like everyone's projectiles. So you counter melees, you counter range characters in multiple ways, and then let's see, and your left click does tons of range damage. So yeah, there's Hurricane, and he's good at melee range. His left click's still good at melee range, and good at medium range, and good at far range. Hurricane kind of does everything, so it's just easy to play him. Inferno put him moderate. Inferno is a character that I think is obviously always in the right hands. Like he was played tons in the tournament, and banned a lot in the tournament, but there's a lot of players that won't make him the best, right? The thing about Inferno is you have to get really good at understanding when to hold charge like that. You have to be understanding when to use your 2 big beam moves because you're stuck in place and anybody could just go for you. Like you're like a sitting duck for Aquilas. They could just instantly stun you out of the air, and when you're popping that, and you'll just die instead. And then you have your movement thing where it gives you like pretty much infinite energy for a while. The amount of energy you regen is, unless you just hyper spam it, you're gonna have infinite energy to stay in the air and just fight everybody. But he's more reliant on having a team to protect him, to let him just do whatever he wants, compared to being able to just solo carry the entire lobby easily. So that's why I would just put him in on moderate. Not many characters I'll have to like talk about as much and show off as much as a Falcon, because like Falcon, like let's look at his Falcon, right? Oh, and then he has a recon kit as well, so he can literally reveal anybody now. Anything like that shows through walls, shows through the Desert Storm, all that, and shows to his teammates. So this is like the average Falcon player, right? This is the ones you're going against. They like kind of fly around. They shoot the missiles with the thing, and But they're easy to track and easy to hit. Not many people are going to be doing what that guy is doing, right? Lumine, I think, is very hard. I think Lumine just doesn't do any damage, and people can't fathom to do that, where they are going to do maybe max like 20k damage, 25 to maybe 30,000 damage. But most of the time, you're going to be doing 700,000, 600,000, 800,000 healing. So that's the type of character it is. If you want to be a pure healing, like a Mercy of the game, that's Lumine. She does AoE healing, single target healing, and then you can go to offensive form, and all your healing turns into damage. You could go to offensive form, throw a dot on somebody, and then swap back to healing form and stay there. But at least you're helping your team a little bit with offensive form. Lumine looks like it's gonna do a lot of damage, but yeah. Right here, deals damage to enemy targets in the range. There's something about corruption form where I think it oh yeah. So corruption form, I think, makes it so they can't get objectives, so she's good at stopping objectives when they put the damage on them, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that one. I'm pretty sure that one will constantly tick on you, and then you can't grab an objective. So what I remember is Lumine is good at stopping, playing objective play, and then constantly healing like all of your main, like all of your big tanks and everything like that. So, and super insanely mobile, like one of the most mobile characters in the whole game with this second skill. So, yeah, on the game mode, you have to capture an objective and then take it like to that rocket in the desert map. Insanely good there. It's just way too hard. Like, if you want to play healer, like Panaka's easier. But still moderate. Panaka has an easier gun to use, can do way more damage. Like you could do like, so they nerfed him. Used to be like do like 1.6 million damage on Panaka. Now you can do like maybe 300,000 to 400,000 damage on Panaka. Still a lot, but not like a ridiculous amount and just murdering a whole lobby. This is like your shotgun move. If you're really close to people, that'll actually like shotgun blast them. You have this wall that's a deployable wall that obviously can shield damage, but also will stun the target, like semi-stun the target on landing, stagger them, and then also does a good amount of damage and goes through shields and everything. And then you could throw this shield on yourself or others, and it makes you immune to CC. Heals over time, and then you have I think it's like a drone that you could throw to people that heals them over time. Your first skill, and then your left click also heals people over time. It used to be, I would have put him at the hardest actually, but now it's a tether. I'm not sure. I don't think they ever shown off. They've only said it in the new season 0, like kind of like, hey, this is what's coming with the game for full release, and this is the changes we made. But they never showed Panaka's actual range tether heal. Maybe I can find like a full gameplay thing where they show Panaka, but when I watched the actual live stream, he was going through a bunch of like, hey, we're showing off the new maps and everything like that. I don't remember seeing Panaka in there in one of those, but somebody like saw him and apparently saw the tether, so that helps a lot more. Before, he used to have to like literally tickle the mech, like he had to literally rub you up and like melee range, and it was very annoying when people would just barely move and it would cut the whole heal, and they would like move again, and each time you left click it would take stamina from you, and it was so annoying. So since they fixed that, I'll keep him a moderate, and he's still a good mech. Every mech in the game is good. I wanted to make a tier list video where I was like S to C rank, but especially before like release and with all the changes they made again in the new maps, the more new maps and like how everything's gonna work, and then they might even have the one ban per team thing with ranked, like they did for the tournament. It's kind of hard to say who goes where and what who does what. So yeah, like Narukami got a change. Narukami went from, I think, from easy to moderate now, because to really properly play Narukami, you have to be able to hit that flick grapple hook into that person, flick, and not flick, but you'll go over their body. I guess you flick over their body, how fast you go. But you'll go over their body, they're stunned, and then you're instant invis as soon as the grapple hook hits. That change right there pretty much added a lot more complexity to the character, but Falcon and Sky Raider can reveal you, and any other future reveal character can reveal you to their whole team. I think also another reveal character is the new Serenith character. So that's a third character to just reveal you to their whole team. So that's 3 counters to you in the whole game, and all 3 are super strong. So that's what keeps him a moderate. So there's a lot more options to kill Narukami now, on top of Stellaris, who's just like hyper aggressive melee character that does insane damage, can also go invis, track you down, and so they figure out where you are, and they go invis and then jump to you. They'll destroy you. And then as soon as they hit you with that grapple hook ability they have, slows you and reduces your dash distance by a ton. So pretty much as Narukami, unless you could flick, hit them with your grapple hook, go over their head, stun them, and then they have to like use their shift to even get out of it, or wait out the stun if they don't have it, or if they don't want to use that, then you pretty much have a get out of jail free card. But if you're not good, you're not going to hit that, and then you're just going to die. You're just going to miss the grapple hook, and then they just kill you. So that keeps them a moderate now instead of easy. Panther is hard, one of the hardest melee to use in the entire game, I think. Panther has no range options, while Stellaris, Elysinus, and Welkin all have range options. They could easily just fight everybody from a distance and wait it out. If the game plan is to sit there and play as a death ball, they could play as range. While Panther has to just go in. Like that, Panther sitting there is doing absolutely nothing. He can sit there and protect your range sniper from the other melee or other Panther or something, but other than that, he has to be hunting down the enemy team and looking for picks at all times. That's all Panther is good for. And you have like your dual attack, that a lot of noobs hate. Like he's the noob bait, where he's still good at the highest level. Yinzi and a couple other people showed that he's just insane, where a lot of people thought he wasn't gonna be good, but he is insane. But yeah, like, so you have you charge your lance with your left click, and you can lunge and just boom and just fly across and just stun somebody and just stun lock them and take them, like abduct them and take them away. And then you have your shields, you could block, parry, everything, and then reduce damage. And then you have your shield booster kit, immediately and partially restores shield and energy, so it allows you to just stay on target and keep getting boom, 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 and keep fighting for longer, keep chasing somebody for longer, get away faster, grab an objective, fly to the main objective, whatever it is, go from objective to objective faster and longer. The shield blade, so you can swap from your lance to your shield blade. And it was, yes, for bypasses fluid armor and force shield, has a strong pursuit capability, so it's just able to stay on target just like any other like fast melee. And all melees bypass shields. You just do straight health damage as well, just to add that in there for anybody who did not know. Additional shield that blocks attacks from all directions, recharges when retracted. So yes, you have your right click shield, which is a frontal shield, and then you have your third ability, which is a like AoE shield on you, and then your second skill, which recharges your like personal shields, and then also your energy. So it's just the way you utilize that kit. You would see like a good like Yinzi, and then you'll play and you'll be like, man, this character's terrible. And then you watch Yinzi destroy everybody that tournament and force a lot of people to play Panther, and you'll go, okay, never mind, I'm just bad. Everybody in this thing is, okay, never mind, I'm just bad. You know what I mean? Like, I thought the character was bad, and never mind, I'm just bad. So, Serenith, I think, is moderate. Serenith has a railgun. It doesn't show it here. You know, I can just look it up. By the way, the music's from the Amazing Digital Circus, amazing show. No pun intended. This show is god tier. Mechabreak, Serenith. Here we go. So they have a long range weapon that you could either spam or hold charge, like hold left click charge, and holding the left click charge will allow different effects. So if you hold the charge and then there's like a half charge or something, there it would take extra ammo, but it'd do more damage. But if you hold to the maximum charge and let go, it would take 4 ammo and then do just giant AoE blast. And then they have a grapple hook that what was it again? I think it slows. So they have the orbital targeting system to right click that will shoot, it will point this like red laser, boom, AoE happens, and then you could charge it so it does an even giant, like a big blast. So at first it'll just do this little blast, but if you hold and then let go, it'll just do a giant explosion. Boom, let go, multi-hit explosion that also can hurt your enemy, your allies. So that's what will keep him moderate, because even though his kit seems kind of easy as well, I forgot it is damage can also hurt your teammates as well. But that also goes through like domes. So anyone who drops like a big dome like Vulcan or Hurricane, that will go through the dome and just hit everybody in the dome. So you actually counter those characters. Yeah, so the Disruption Grappler. So this thing, it hits that person and then swaps the health bars. I'll show that right here. And it'll show from that person's perspective. So that Tricera's his enemy, but now it looks like it's his teammate. He's going to swing on this Tricera and he's going to do no damage. He's going to be like, what the heck's going on? And then the person that he was really supposed to kill is on his right, or then they flip or whatever is happening. And it's very confusing, and that's pretty much what it is. But the main use of this thing is that it can attach to objectives. And you can capture objectives from range. So yeah, right here. So you can capture objectives from range. That's the main thing. And then they also have this, the Disruptor. It like pretty much makes it so they can't be targeted at all. I don't even think they can be hurt. So like, yeah, so right here. So this person's aiming off target, but then the target system also drags your shots over. And then they have, if you stay on target long enough, and then you can't manipulate it anymore with mods or anything. Only in Tarkov mode, Tarkov assault mode, mechabreak mode. But this allows them to pretty much avoid like half the damage, because a lot of bad players will only rely on targeting, where like all the good players will actually track you perfectly, right? So, but it allows you, if you have good movement, to then even reduce their damage, because if you dash immediately and then sprint a little bit, dash again, you'll force them to actually have even better aim, because sometimes then they try to have just enough tracking to stay on you, and then boom, you pop that. Now it forces them to have to play the game like it's a normal shooting game. So that's just right there. And you can also kind of stand in front of your teammates, and kind of the mist kind of helps them a little bit. So there you go. And then he also has like a radar system. Sky Raider, I think, is all the flyers are super hard. Sky Raider does, I think, less damage than something. What the heck? Sky Raider does less, I guess, like burst damage than Falcon, but they have more consistent damage than Falcon. It's also energy damage instead of like the ballistic damage from Falcon. Falcon's like ballistic and blast. I think Sky Raider is pure energy, or it's energy and blast damage. Like, and blast is like explosives and stuff. Sky Raider is, since it's energy damage, it does less damage underwater, and now there's an underwater map, and there'll be future underwater maps. So if you're underwater, and then also in the mashback mode, if you're underwater, the energy damage is reduced, and you can also not transform. So both Falcon and Sky Raider cannot transform, forced to stay in their normal forms. And we're doing less damage, and you can transform. Just on those maps alone, Sky Raider becomes one of the hardest characters to play, because you're forced to always play on the top of the water. The water's like on B site, so you have to play for A site and C site, going between both like super far. And if you want to play under, you have to understand what your use is underwater. So, and then on top of that, you're just, you know, flyer, so you're just hard to mechanically use, and your skills are like just not as easy to just use off rip compared to a lot of other characters. So I'll just keep him in the hard tier. And then you have Stego, is the easiest character in the whole game other than Tricera. Stego is literally just plop down and shoot millions of missiles, and like you'll just do the most damage in the whole game every single time. Every single time, the person who did the most damage in the esports tournament, if there was a Stego, was most of the time a Stego, or the best Falcon player in the world. Like some of those Falcons would pop off and get the most damage in the lobby, even with Stego in there. Very hard. Look how much damage this character does. And it's an ultra heavy attacker. They have this deployable shield. They have this mist that makes it so they heal shields. And so on top of healing people's shields, including yourself, they also makes it so you can't be targeted. You also have this giant shield that also now pushes people back. So if a melee pushes up on you, you just pop the shield and thrust them backwards, and then they just do so much damage. So, and then they're also CC immune in when they have the shield deployed, so you don't have to worry about getting CC'd and stun locked. Character is annoying when you play him, especially on the map where you have to acquire the fallen like satellites or whatever they are, and you have to get like a total of 8 points in that mode. That map you could pretty much guarantee win if you have a Vulcan with you. Also, the desert map as well. Stellaris is super hard. I think he's the second hardest melee in the game. But you also have range in your kit, but with your right click where you shoot like a range slash forward, and you can kind of combo. But the thing about that character is it has a lot of comboing to it. So you have to use certain skills in a certain order. If you go like left click, right click, he'll do like a slash and then jump, slam. He does that every time as a mechanic, and he will stun the target. If you do slash slash right click, you do like a multi-hit attack. And if you do slash 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 right click, you'll do a giant spinning slash. So it's things like that where you have to take account for them. You have a grapple hook, you have to be able to land that so that you can slow them, and then it nerfs their dashes. But also then you could click it again and then you'll dash to the target, so that's very important to your kit to be able to land. Trying to think off the top of my head what was our other skill. Oh yeah, you have like these ranged drones that you have to be able to just be on target when you hit it, and then they'll go to them and just start hitting them. If you come from like Gundam, it'll call it like bits, so they can like shoot bits off and it'll like start hitting you. And they also can go invisible, and invisible breaks like if they're hitting you, like you can break out a stagger and things like that. See right there, he like, and then always does a parry. Just forgot to say that. Things when you hold right click or something like that. See, you hold your left click, you hold your right click, you'll go into a parry stance for a couple seconds, and anybody who melees you in that time, you'll boom, and then you hit right click, and you'll boom, and you'll like spin slash and do a big spin slash. Or it's your left click, can't remember. The character has never been playable, so I'm trying to remember off the top of my dome from the this one in the live stream. Tricera is the other easiest character game. I think Tricera is easier than Stego. Because Tricera literally is just a literal walking tank that could spam his form change and parry, reduce damage, heal himself, heal nearby allies, has the right click rocket launcher thing that just does ridiculous damage and kind of stun locks you, and then left click is just a Gatling gun, so it's just easy to use and has tons of ammo. I think it's like the most health in the entire game, and I think the most shields as well. Yeah, repair drone, stagnant, gameplay in a sense. Like if you don't like how everyone's like a lot of the mechs have a lot of movement or decent amount of movement, then you would just play this character instead go. But especially this character. This character will plop down in place, boop, boop, plop down in place, boop, plop down in place. If you want to deal with pesky flyers, you play Tricera. If you want to deal with annoying ass melees, you play Tricera. If you want to like play for objective, you play Tricera. If you want to play tanky, you play Tricera. A lot of damage, a lot of this, a lot of that. You want to do a decent amount of healing, you play Tricera. Like, even though obviously Pinaka and Lune will do more healing, you will still do a decent amount of healing that it will feel like the pseudo healer on the team. You usually go Lumine, Tricera, or Lumine, or Pinaka, Tricera, because you'll have 2 healers on the team because of that. And then I'll do Vulcan, and not much else to talk about. Tricera is just an easy character. And then Vulcan, I think, is a moderate character. Vulcan has the dome that can trap people in it, and then your teammates can shoot into it or out of it. And then you also have your mist thing that also gives you a frontal shield now. And then you can use that to mitigate a lot of damage. You have your melee, which is your big axe that can help stagger people and then finish people off. And then your right click is a rocket launcher. Heavy brawler, so he's just inherently tankier compared to all the other melees. You have your right click. Oh no, your left click is a rocket. Your right click's a melee. There you go. But boom, 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 and you have your hold. You hold it, and then you'll do a spin to win. While you're spin to winning, I think you're CC immune, if I remember correctly. Like if somebody else just tries to melee you while you're spin to winning, they'll get hit stunned instead. They will do nothing to you, get hit stunned instead, and they'll just die. And then you also have this. So this is old footage. The new version of this is you have a shield ability that's a frontal shield. It shoots mist everywhere, and also it will summon these blades. Or I think now the blades are in your dome. I'm pretty sure the blades, those blades that perma-stun you, are in your dome. If not, it's when you pop your shield ability. So the shield ability would like boom, boom, like boom, the shield, also the mist, and also those. I'm pretty sure those are stuck to your barrier. And also he has a flashbang ability that just stun locks you, and then you just wails on you and just spin to wins and stuff. So yeah, that character is super meta. This character, and this character, and by golly, they're pretty much the easiest characters in the whole game. Honestly, I'm gonna put this guy right here. I'm gonna put him in easy. He's actually so easy. Everybody and their mom plays him. Everybody and their mom can play him. There's not much like high skill cap to the character. I was gonna put him moderate just because I was like, maybe it's hard to land the dome on people, but not really. So, but yeah, that's my easy to hard, I guess, tier list for the game. If you guys agree with it, I mean, hell yeah, like the video. If you don't agree with it, put in the comments why you don't agree with how I rank the character and how their difficulty. And yeah, I hope I see you guys in the next video, and peace.